So nice land. And no, people were. I agree with that.
Oh, okay.
No, I was not yet. And then,
I did.
where is the,
Yep.
I don't.
And now you're live on. Yeah. When you're recording to pause, so when you're ready to start. You can just.
So this is still not the correct version that you, which version is this?
But right now.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
And now someone might want to.
You got on your radio. One, the second one, it's sent.
Oh, yeah.
So you should.
No, that's only a. Okay, the applicant.
Yeah.
The applicant name, the map and like something always got missing. This is.
Oh, okay. So what we'll do is we're all in agreement. I'll just tell them.
Yep.
Just go ahead.
So, we are, and it's still not.
Obviously, you're gonna be on the stage.
Oh, I know.
So.
We like customers.
Someone will do that, and then it gets acceptable, and then it comes.
Okay.
Start recording.
I don't need it, just.
I don't.
When you're trying to move, I move to my.
I read on no, but I mean,
Do you need anything more from me? Okay, some food. Sorry, I don't. Okay, she's in charge of this. Right job getting it all set up and she knows how to do it. She takes the things, she does. Make really.
Is this fun?
yes.
I have a question. I forget his first. Chapter. It says that he built the islands like the. Because I thought you could only go.
Oh, that's. That's not a plan.
Oh.
But he wants to go something like that. And they switch to go from that. And he probably put in kind of. So
Because,
he wants to go that way.
well, I went to a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and he did say
Let me
that-
check the ordinance. In the 2000 in the village. No.
Oh.
So I think what I
Oh,
would do that
so-
ordinance.
I
That was an email sent out. For one of them.
I don't know.
Get tested on Saturday, on Sunday. They can test it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have it. I can go. And do the work.
I was just very used to sending them. Because we were trying to figure out.
No, I don't know. That was last minute. Oh, yeah.
And this is. He probably-
Yeah.
You can-
No, like, we want to keep, especially if I one day. I just like to leave it. So, but, you know, I'm not going to do it. Even though I'm not. I know.
People that don't know me, my name's Irvin Curtis, resident of South Thompson for quite a long time. Nice to-
You have the big hammer to hang on the table to the attention, please.
I do, but I didn't bring it. My wife actually got me one. I can just give you a name.
I'm Catherine Lamb, and I live in Boston, obviously.
I'm Cindy Ginn, and I was in South Holliston.
If you speak, if you just say if you're a town resident, or if you, any comments you make, if you live in South Thompson, your name and so forth. Because we need, actually, I think there's a sign and sheet somewhere should be here for people that attend. Yes,
You,
about 1 minute to go. Why don't we, that's better. Okay, we start a meeting at 6. This is. Okay. 5:30, we'll have a public hearing and then we'll roll into a planning board meeting if it doesn't take till 6 o'clock. Okay, we have a roll call. We have a quorum, we have 3 people here. So we'll call this meeting to order. This is a public hearing on the solar farm on 131. And I'd like anybody who'd like to speak. What we'll do is let's have pro con, and then I'll go pro con and pro or con at the end. In case somebody thinks of something and then they want to speak again. Okay, but I think we have so few people here, it should be okay. So I'll open the public hearing. Anybody that wants to speak against the solar farm.
Well, we'd like to hear what the proposal. Yeah, do you have any information about it?
Well, I think the lady's right there. You can, why don't you come up and give them a quick,
Okay.
well, they've already made a proposal to us, so we know. So if you want, they can present to you. Why don't we present to them and then people can ask questions? That's probably a good idea, save time.
Should we introduce ourselves?
Sure.
Hey,
Name your
everyone.
company and everything.
My name is Mark Creosote. I work at Summit Ridge Energy, who's proposing the solar farm, and we've been working with the planning board and the chief called a couple of months now. This is Heather Ward, and Heather is a consultant from TRC, so she's our environmental consulting firm, project lead manager. And we can spend 5 minutes.
As long as you need to.
Okay.
You got 30
5
minutes.
minutes so everyone becomes aware of what our objective is and what we're trying to do as far as this solar farm. So I'll leave Heather to explain the location and the kind of the proposed size of it and things like that, kind of a quick summary, and then anyone has questions that we find for the thing.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mark. The project name is called the South Thomaston Solar Project. The access for it would be off of Birch Lane and Route 131. It's a 1.99 megawatt solar project, community solar project. The limits of disturbance, meaning access road, tree clearing, and panels, is 19.9 acres. However, the solar array itself, meaning the panels, is 13.4 acres. So that, the balance of 5 to 6 more acres is for tree clearing, which means, you don't want shade on the panels, so a certain amount of tree clearing has to happen around the panels to maximize.
So you're taking 13 acres of trees away.
Has to be cleared.
Is that just for the panels or also for the surrounding?
So the 19.9 is for the panels and the surrounding. We call it shade
And the
management
road,
and the access road.
the road is how long?
Well, so this isn't a great plan.
It's hard to see.
It's located on 2 parcels, and the combined area for the 2 parcels is 210 acres. So the 19 acres is gonna be in, embedded in that 200 acres in the center. And the reason that we do that is to minimize any visual impact to the butters or anything. So you're really not gonna, you're not gonna be able to see anything from the road or the adjacent properties. This is kind of an overview. Can you see that okay? No, I want everyone to be able to see it.
I've already kind of, you
Okay.
direct it to them because
Okay,
I've read it pretty thoroughly.
so this is 131, and this is Birch Road here. This is an existing road, it's a gravel road, and it's going to be the path that is going to be used to get back to the solar array. The solar array is this blue area here, and this is about quarters of a mile. So it's really tucked back into the woods. You're not gonna be able to see it.
Where is that in proximity to the pond itself?
The pond's like way
Way
over there.
over here.
Yeah.
It's not on the map here at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty far. The nearest abutter, we've already had this question and it's in the application, but the nearest abutter, or residential dwelling house is here. And, the measurement from the nearest point of tree clearing to that abutter is 1,500 feet. Roughly,
So
so,
that, where is, who is that?
What is your name then?
Lori Biagini, resident of South Thomas,
Okay,
Hollyberry Lane. Because we're the last house on Hollyberry.
that's what I'm trying to say.
What you're pointing to, I don't know.
okay.
There's a Mallory, right, Budmeister? There's one lot there, then it goes out into the woods. Lawrence Leach, Daniel Lee Fogg, is it? Oh, I
Holiday.
Okay, you're off the
Yeah.
map here, okay.
Yeah, here we go, here, it's up.
Is this one here? Yeah, apologies, the
They-
plans, it's such a large site that the plans are
So
on.
that's, so,
Oh, that's what I'm trying to find out.
yeah, so,
Yeah.
so it would be 1,500 feet through the woods. And you guys in this, right?
So if we
So
turn
let's
back,
go back to
if we go back to this one,
this. We are here,
the tree clearing limits is here.
right,
So that, we call it the edge of disturbance, the limits of disturbance, we have to have that on any engineering plan that we do. So no tree clearing through this area. There'll be some minor upgrades to the existing road.
How big is the road? You're gonna make the road
It'll still
larger?
be gravel. Right
Yeah.
now it's 8 feet wide from wheel to wheel side, and to get, the equipment or the construction equipment in to get in to build the project, we need to do some widening, so it'll be.
and that was
it'll-
Chief Calder and because the fire apparatus, we wanted to make it like 15 feet
Yeah,
wide.
fire safety.
And then where we go to resource areas like wetlands, we have to shrink it down to maybe 12 feet. And
Yeah.
Because
that's
I know there's
because
wetlands back there.
very limited. There are wetlands, and we've addressed that in the permit, yeah.
I'm actually a wetland scientist, so
Yeah.
that's really,
That's good.
in addition to permitting, that's what I do. I'm a wetland scientist, so we've delineated all the wetlands, streams, we look for vernal pools. We do agency consultation with the Maine Natural Areas Program. And they do a statewide inventory of any botanical features or rare plants. Maine Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife to consult with them, and they manage, any rare animal species. So there are none on
Which,
site.
that's a good point there. We know identified rare or endangered
Yeah.
species.
And when we're out in the woods doing our thing, delineating wetlands, we also keep an eye out for rare animals and rare plants and rare natural communities, and we didn't see any. There's actually not even any vernal pools on the site. It's a really good site, for solar, it's flat, and there are wetlands, but we're able to avoid most of them.
So you're not changing any of the roads, you're just gonna make it wider.
Yes,
So it's
So
gonna
it's gonna
be, these people over here at the end, where we could go through the woods right there, there's the road. So it's gonna be closer to their house, the road. And you're gonna be doing.
you're saying at this point here,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, You're still, so this is 200 feet here, this checkered area, so even the road is almost, I would say between 400 and 500 feet away.
So on that curve there, though, our property line, I mean, the road is there, there's a little bit of, a strip of wetlands less than from me to you, and there's our property line. So when you widen it, you're practically beyond my property line, which does not allow me to ever sell my land to build homes back there.
You have a wetland between the road and
Yeah, there's
property
like a
line?
little marshy brook or whatever.
Elevation there.
Which road are you guys on?
Oliver.
Okay, the one over here, okay.
So I think you're probably referring, so this gray shaded area is all wetland and salinity. So I think you're talking
Well,
about,
we have something,
yeah,
right?
No, that,
this is where the road comes up
Right.
close.
our land is there, yeah, not that one house, right?
Right,
I think, yeah, I think you're learning to get
yeah.
big strip to the north.
Yeah, it goes a mile back.
Go to the end of, quote unquote, Russell land.
Yep.
Or Eric's land.
Okay. And this is a stream that was delineated.
Just, yeah.
Yeah, and as far as the stream, if anyone's interested, there's already a culvert here at the road, so we're gonna maintain that culvert. We don't even have to make it bigger. So it's pretty low impact as far as wetland is concerned. We, didn't trigger the state of Maine, the DES, DEP, excuse me, regulates all wetland streams and resources, so we have this lowest category of permitting for them, it's called a permit rule. It's a 2-page application form. It's very minimal, I guess.
Is there gonna be a culvert, the length of the road, where it says the water lane there, will be, you know, like they have on the road out here? You have your road and you have the culvert. Are you gonna keep those open?
Yeah, so all culverts will be maintained. We did a full stormwater analysis on this. There's not a lot of additional impervious areas for this, and it's literally just the minimal road widening from 8 to 15 feet, between 10 and 15 feet widening, and then the panels themselves aren't impervious because they're elevated, so it's really just the 3-inch posts that are considered impervious.
Do you,
With the exception, let me just go on, with the exception of a, equipment pad,
This is concrete.
this is a concrete pad, yeah, but it's small.
Right,
does this property get fenced in?
yes,
So no, I mean,
it by national electrical code, it has to get fenced in.
fenced in, okay.
And it's 7-foot high fence, no barbed wire, we don't want anyone jumping over the fence to get hurt. But that is an electrical code,
Right,
and the chief will have access via a knock box, so he'll have access 24/7 if he needs to get in there. But that's our standard approach. They'll be very limited. There'll be one sign, an 800 phone number. And there are required national electrical code, high voltage danger, but there's no other signs, there's no lighting. It's kind of just sits there by itself.
right.
So I'm just curious, because you're involved in the fire chief here, what kind of fire danger is there? Why is there a concern about that?
So there's no fire danger from the equipment because the equipment's all electrical. And chief would not want to spray water on electrical
Right.
equipment. So what happens in a situation, if anything was to burn, the Central Maine Power Group and us, the owners, would open the breaker up. The plant would be de-energized and the equipment would just basically go out. Chief's concern was if there was a grass fire and we're making provisions so we can get in to the big truck to the main gate. But we're also leaving spaces around the fence line, we can get the UTV in there. In the event, there was a grass or a brush fire, we can handle that, but we always, our safety procedure and program says if something's to burn electrical, you just watch it, it doesn't go anywhere, it's very self-limiting. You shut the power off to CMP, and that's it, it goes out, and I replace it, yeah,
Now,
we're very careful.
Do you have goats to, I've heard goats,
There's goats, there's sheep, they've tried everything. We don't know what's planned here yet.
Just so you know, every commercial project, in the performance standards involves the fire chief, fire department, so on, every single one. Wrong, we do.
It's a good idea. I mean, every town really has that standard.
So that's gonna be off Birch. So we can continue to go down Birch Road to the pond, or is that gonna be all?
As far as that,
Yeah.
there's not, nope, the access road will remain open, and there will be, so we were just talking about this earlier, there will be a route around the solar farm, so there'll be a,
But in fact, that would change from what?
I know, I was just gonna say, I can't really
Never
speak for the landowner.
Right.
Yeah, I preference between the winters.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, we can't comment on that, the two landowners.
No, I really, yeah, but I'm just asking if that is off of Birch, so it's not gonna be closed off.
This
or
will not,
fenced off.
this is what I can tell you, this will not be
Yeah.
closed off. It'll be closed off right here, so you can't get into the solar right side.
Right, I don't wanna get into
I just wanna go around
I
it.
just wanna
Yeah.
go around.
Go around it, yep, and there will be, there's an agreement with the landowner that we've already designed a road around a small, similar to like what's there, a small gravel road around it, so you can get back out here. So that, yeah, that access won't be blocked off.
So is this probably purchased from Eric Houghton or Russ Houghton?
The Summit Ridge has, you know, lease agreement with both the two owners.
Okay.
But it's not showing.
Where, you know, since you're at this, where is, on which side is the road that's gonna replace what's going through the array right now? Which side?
It's to the south,
Yeah, to the south.
So it
that's
goes-
on
You
that
see,
side.
it's delineated by the double hash mark.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, you got it, yep.
How long is this project gonna take? With the
Uh,
trucking and the noise and all that stuff?
Now, it'll be, it's a small project, 1.99 is considered a very small project. I think the other project in town is 5, so it's almost 2.5 times bigger, the next year.
Oh, okay.
Up the
Yeah, I think
street.
it's 4.9.
Yeah, so that's- So this will be 3 to 6 months, and the loudest portion will be the initial, the basically drilling posts. Because it's Maine and it's full of rocks, you can't pound posts, because you're gonna hit rocks, right? So it's a drill, it's just a
And
drill
like
bit.
stuff, yeah.
And there'll be several of those are called the posts. After that, you'll see a bunch of brand new Ford F-150 pickup trucks, the electricians are driving because they're making tons of money, which is great. Driving in, and they'll be assembling the panels, and that's it. And then there'll be some grading, you know, there'll be some, but 3 to 6 months in the first month is, I'd say, intensive. After that, you'll never probably see a Summit Ridge truck because these are self-running. There's a maintenance procedure once a month or whatever, unless there's an emergency, of course, and then they would be out there. But it really doesn't do much. It just sits there, and as long as it's sunny, it works.
Even mowing, like mowing
Yeah.
the cleared areas has to be less than 2 times a year.
That's a DEP requirement.
Yeah.
So we usually plant like it's called, it's a ryegrass, it just falls over. We could.
Now, when would your project start?
So right now, with hopefully we gain approval from the town, the last hurdle is Central Maine Power is doing a series of studies called cluster studies, which means they look at all the solar facilities in a particular region. So for example, Lincolnville, there's several now that go into one big substation. That substation is being studied. That study should come out in December or January. And hopefully, if the results show favorable, that there's no major upgrades needed in that big substation, and then the projects can proceed. So I would say it's spring
Yeah.
2023, hopefully we start construction.
So, sir, may I ask you a question? I don't
Yes.
know if you'd be able to answer. But let's say I was to sell my house, would I have to disclose this? Like to put on the market now? Would I have to disclose that this solar project is going in?
It's public information, so no, you wouldn't.
Does this lower our property tax?
I'm not the assessor, I wish mine was lower. Yes,
Something for the shop.
that's right.
Brian Collwood, Fire Chief of Town South Thompson. Just for those that you said you go across country skiing. There are other reasons around that blue square. It's gonna be, and I don't quote me on the number because it's not a while ago and I don't remember what exact number I said, but it's gonna be approximately 15 feet around the blue square that is going to be cleared back. And the reason why I have asked for that is that gives us accessibility with our UTV, which has a pump on it, in the event this location causes a fire, or there is a fire out in the backwoods, we have better access to protect your home and any other neighboring homes. Being able to work around it, so that in case, when you guys see all this going on, well, why do go so big, the extra 15 feet past the fence line? That's a protection part from the fire service that I've asked for. It's kind of a smart move. You never know, lightning can strike out there, and you're not gonna, because it's not gonna be accessible, or people aren't gonna be there 24/7. Who knows? If we have a better way to protect them and to protect you at the same time, that was my goal.
Yeah, I'm cool, I just want to be able to get around it.
Understand?
That's all.
And the reason, just so everyone knows, the reason of the 15 feet to the width of the road, is because that is a minimum requirement for any emergency apparatus, 15 feet wide, 15 feet high. Because you all live in Maine, it does snow periodically, and those branches are gonna come down, and yes, we're not gonna be out there unless we have to be out there, but I want accessibility to the road. And that benefit to you homeowners that are near it, on top of the project. So,
And that road will be maintained to a certain level because we have to have access to it. So in the event of an emergency, you don't want to go in and not been plowed for 2 months. That's happened before, so that will be, standard.
Is there anybody opposed, speaking opposed to this? Anybody want to speak in favor? Anybody pro or con?
I'll be, I'll agree to the favor to move to do my road.
You will also be able to speak at the public comment session of the meeting or anytime during the process.
My one question is my real estate, everybody's real estate value. What is it, historically, does it lower the real estate value of the near solar farm?
I would say that that would be a question for the selectmen, the assessor, but my personal opinion would be that they would say it doesn't affect it. I'm just saying that's what they're probably tell you.
Right, because that's my concern, that's my investment.
Right,
And I would hate to think that I worked hard to pay off my home and then property values are dropping now, but would this kill it further?
I'm not a real estate guy.
We can't answer that.
So you wanna buy it?
How much land do you have around your land house?
Total of 30.
Oh, it's a big lot. I had a question on the road going in. Well, I can wait for the meeting. We can go over the meeting. I guess and I'll go over that with you. If nothing else, I'd like to start the process with you guys
Okay.
on the performance standards. And does the board have any discussion now before we start this?
I'm trying to understand the structure of the operation. From what I read, you're leasing the land,
Yes,
and how long is the lease?
the lease is 20 years with extensions. The lease is always flanged up against the contract with CMP. The program that, I should mention this, the program this is participating is called Net Energy Billing. You've probably seen flyers at your house offering a 15% discount. You as homeowners can participate in any of those programs. And they're very good programs because it's a 15% discount on the bottom line of your electric bill. Okay, that program was initiated, which spurred all these solar farms. The contract that Summit Ridge has signed with this, Summer Ridge has now, there's gonna be we're in development or construction of 30 plants in Maine. Those are all participating in what's called that net energy billing program. So the benefits of the homeowners is that you can sign up with anyone. It could be Next Stamp, it could be Summit Ridge, it can be anyone you want. And those are good programs. The contract always matches up. So the net energy billing program is a 20-year program. So the contract with the owners of the sites, the two owners, will be 20 years. And then what usually is done, because these things last, they don't melt or anything. So you always put extensions in, because you're not gonna pull out the panels.
That
against
was my
20
next
years.
question. What's the life expectancy of the
The
panel?
panels are between, they're guaranteed for efficiency for at least 25 years. And then,
The decrease is not.
and-
guaranteed, we know.
right, and we have solar farms now that are 10 years old, and the efficiency of the panels have gone down 2%, 3%. Now, albeit they're not at high wattage. The other thing I should mention is that the state of Maine has set a new requirement called decommissioning.
Yes.
So when the plant is deemed closed, there is a bond that has to be presented to the town and to the state of Maine DEP in the value of decommissioning. In the event that the company goes bankrupt, the bond would be executed. Okay? And that means there's money sufficient to cover removal of all the panels, all the electrical, 2 feet down of all the footings and everything. And that has to be renewed every 5 years. So we have to look, every 5 years, it has to be refreshed. So we're responsible for that, and the DEP approves it as well as the town.
Now, the decommissioning bond that's in the report, that's 197 million,
No, 1,000.
197,000.
197,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And before we pull the building permit, the actual
Bond.
bond will be in place. So we gave you an example, because you don't want to pull it now, because you don't know if we're gonna build a project, but.
Right,
And usually it's an insurance company like Travelers, and now they will insure that value, 197. And then every 5 years, we'll take a look at that, and we'll probably inflate it for different inflation factors. Yeah,
cost of this project to develop, I didn't see that on the application. What is it roughly?
roughly, this is probably gonna be a $3 to $5 million project.
Okay.
And the predominant cost of that is the panels. Very expensive.
Can you explain a bit the structure of the company? Because, okay, so you are a consultant to this project. You're representing an
Some-
energy company.
The owner, Summit Ridge Energy, they're based in Bethesda, Maryland. And they are a developer, owner, and operator, meaning they will develop the project and they will operate it. So the person you're gonna see will be, a full subcontractor to Summit Ridge or a Summit Ridge employee. And they are, we are in the community solar space. In other words, most of the work we do is small projects. The difference that between there's a utility scale solar, which is, thousands of acres, or the one down at the airport at Sanford. That's 50 megawatts, that's 300 acres, that's a different. And so the objective of Summit Ridge in Maine is to be the largest owner operator of community solar.
But when you say owner.
Yep.
You're the one going to pay the local taxes every year.
Any additional taxes that come with the project are paid by Summit Ridge, exactly.
So I read about, was it Mitsubishi involved as a financier in this project? Did I misread that?
No, that was the Osaka Gas.
Osaka, yeah.
Osaka Gas is one of the companies that are providing funding to Summit Ridge to continue on the growth platform. Yeah.
So if you have to go bankrupt, this is now becomes the property of Osaka or.
I think the ownership would be with the Summit Ridge company. I think Osaka is in the background on the finance side. Yeah.
I just have a quick question for you. When you put on the solar panels, you have to run, telephone poles all the way to the side. I call them telephone poles.
Yeah, electrical poles. So CMP has a very strict standard, and so you'll see off the street you're gonna see the CMP pole, and then you're gonna see probably 3 poles, because they have to put their equipment on those poles. And then everything else will be run,
Underground.
Underground.
Suppose will be
It's just
pretty
3
much within the first couple hundred feet, and then everything else will be underground,
underground.
so you won't get those.
So it's gonna go, yeah, you won't. And that's a CMP, any power plant, any solar farm you look at, you're gonna see 3 poles.
That's good.
Excuse me, the one on 131 that's across from Ledge Road, that has poles going all the way up. That's quite a field.
Yeah,
Next damn project.
That's a next damn project, I can't.
Sometimes they design them above ground, sometimes they try to put them underground, but it depends on if there's a lot of rocks
Yeah.
and ledge, sometimes they can't
Right.
put them underground.
I have a question about, so the grasses you mentioned, who recommended those grasses to put in between the solar panels?
The specific species,
Yeah,
we work with TRC and the landscape architects
because
to,
they have conservation for, mixes.
Yes,
So,
yes.
that are appropriate to the area and not going to.
Yep.
Yeah, because it's a really low maintenance, so you don't want to put down fertilizers or have to go out and water or anything like that, so. We try and do a seed mix that works with the type of soils out there, like we've had some sites that are very, very sandy and dry. So we like to put in species that will do well in that sort of environment.
And that's a good point you bring up, there'll be no herbicides or pesticides.
Yes, but we want local species, that's what I'm asking about. I don't want.
Yeah, oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
It said in the letter that 216 acres, is that what you're leasing?
No, we're only leasing.
19.1.
Well, the whole project, both parcels, how many, five,
Both parcels total 215.
that's where the number came from.
Yeah,
But
that's what the parcel
Right.
size.
You have nothing to do with that other, so
No.
it's not like in 2 years you're gonna expand.
No.
They have to come back.
Yeah, and given the topology of the area, they are pretty much limited to what they are developing there, because you have all the wetlands around.
Right, we had to be very careful as we put our design down to avoid wetlands and also stay within the confines of these areas.
Okay, I have a quick question here on this road. Coming up turn off 131.
Yep.
On here. These, any of these people, Daniel Fogg's here, or Russell and Tracy Otis, are they here? And then there's another one, I see that in our copy. Hold on.
Eric's here.
You're here. And then there was the.
You'll have the map exciting.
Yeah, But anyway, people along this road, how is this road handled? Who, is it jointly owned by, is it owned by the people in the back of the land? Or who actually owns that road?
So my understanding is that Mr. Rodone owns that road.
You own the road?
Well, no,
My father.
Your father,
right?
okay,
Yeah, right.
Right away.
And right
right away.
away.
So the other ones also have a right of way to their property off of this road.
Jeff, Malone, Corey, they share the, and.
That's a good turn, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first turn, and you see the first turn, there's a house up there that has a right of way to get to that. Mr. Rodone sold.
Oh, Jeff,
land-
yeah,
Yes,
that's the one, yeah.
yes. And
So
he
he's-
sold land years ago to those folks.
Yeah.
Okay, reason why I'm asking these abutters of the road,
They are on Holiday Lane.
that's, they're back a little bit, these people are directly impacted
Yeah,
by this road, so I want to make sure that they're all they're aware of it, they know, they've all been written letters.
Yep.
So there's no issues there, and the road, the owner owns this land here.
I believe your ordinance says, so anyone within 500 feet of the parcel, that
Right.
the project is
Now,
on has to be notified.
The back land that Mr. Appleby owns, and I think there was a McCollum, Douglas McCollum.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you guys have access to this? Would you use the same road to get to?
No, I go on my road, and then it's turned into.
Okay. This is the road here, yeah.
Yeah.
Apple Tree Lane.
Yep.
So my question is, the backland that's here is, I was wondering about authorization coming through here, that's all.
Yeah, I mean, as we stated, when the solar farm is built and that turnaround is built, everything else is still up to the ownership of the owner, the two owners.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So as long, I guess, Mr., how do you say his name? How do you know? O'Donnell. Okay. So he's on board with this and authorized this.
Yeah, the two owners are Mr. Russ Sordone and Mr. Scott Appleby.
Okay, and Mr. Douglas Muck.
I'm sorry, Scott, that's Scott.
I know you're Scott.
Yeah.
You said your name was
Eric?
Eric.
O'Donnell, and Mr. Where's the call?
They're probably down the boat here.
He's, okay. All right. No, that's okay. I just want to make sure that
Everyone's.
allowed to use it. Okay. Anybody have any other questions? No, here none. You have anything you want to? What we're here tonight is we're here to set the performance standards for this project. And for the, on the town side, there's many other things they must comply with the state, quite a long list of environmental things in this book. It's very, I read through it a couple times. There's a lot of things in there from a lot of requirements they have to meet with the Utilities Commission, state, some of them, wildlife people, all written letters about impact on that area, and they've really found none. Okay, according to that's a true statement, right? That nobody that, at least all these letters that I read from the state, they say the wildlife, the fishing game, all the people that have been in here, that none of them have opposed this. Okay. So hearing that, I think I'll start with if you have a question during the performance standard process, or the board does, I'll allow you to speak, just kind of raise your hand, so we can keep it orderly. Okay. Date now is 9/15/22. Applicant's name is going to be South Thompson PV LLC. And which address are we using for that?
The address, the correct address where the applicant is right on the form is.
That one down in Virginia?
1515 Wilson Boulevard.
Okay, let me pull that up.
Arlington.
Okay, yeah, that's what I saw on the application. Okay.
Can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
The solar panels, is there any impact to the humans?
No,
You said about, wildlife, what about us humans?
right.
Electromagnetic
So
field.
the way I like to explain it is that the solar panels are basically glass. Right? And under the glass is the whole series of wires. So there's no chemicals, I mean, they were made with chemicals like glass and things, right? But there's no leachable chemicals, there's no liquid, there's no, electromagnetic radiation, it's just straightforward panels. They basically take the sun and they convert electrons, and electrons convert to electricity. So there's no hazard to any humans or animals.
But when you Google it, you read about the hardware of the electromagnetic field.
Yeah, that's interesting because there's a whole bunch of stuff on the internet that you would believe or don't believe or has no scientific backing. Those are for the large solar farms where it literally creates like a heat island. But these are big projects, thousands of acres. These projects are small and they don't have enough capacity to get to that level.
Right. I mean, I'm older, so I'm not worried about making a
No,
future
just a good
generation.
question, though. No, absolutely.
Okay, going on. Got the applicant, number one here, jurisdiction finding, the applicant requests special exemption for conditional use under the land use ordinance. It does comply with that. It is allowed in R1 zone. The applicant is asking for a 1.99 megawatt solar array in the used in R1 zone. And, the term be complete. It's allowed, I guess. The applicant has in hand all state and federal permits and approvals that are required, or you will have before you build.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, did you have to get a DOT entrance permit for this road,
No, because it's the
Existing.
road.
NA?
Yep.
You had a DEP site review,
We don't trigger that.
don't trigger that, okay, so that's under the square footage?
Yeah.
The wetlands, okay. And, site review, we got an impact on wildlife, you did have that, that was approved. Any other permits that you had to get? I know you had to get, that we should know about.
No, I mean, so we have, the two state permits, it's a NERPA PBR, which has to do with minimal impact to wetlands, and then there's stormwater PBR. Which is, neither one of them are considered full permitting, it's just a by notification, it's a 14-day review.
Right. One more. Okay. Planning board is given jurisdiction over this application, to review this application under the land use ordinance of South Thompson. Proposed use is a 19.9 acre area for a solar array. Is authorized within the R1 zone. And may be conditioned by the planning board based on above findings that planning board maintains jurisdiction to review this application before it. That's out of a town, this is a town ordinance stuff. Okay, the applicant's name, are we gonna use this, company, South Thompson PV LLC?
Yes.
Okay. Mhm. Now, the land is being leased and it's owned by Mr. Appleby, Mr. O'Donnell, and you guys, there's no encumbrances on this land, no liens. Okay, no ways of, so you have, it's gonna be by deed, you all have deeds for this land. And you may have to show up to the code officer at some point before construction starts. Okay. So this land is located, what is it gonna be, the address of this location? You want to have it exactly, it's gonna be virtually,
911 address
When we won't have an address until
We
we
start.
start to build.
but,
when we start construction.
so right now, stay with the Birch Lane. Or where is it?
Yeah, I would assume so, that's where it's at now.
We don't have a number there though.
Correct, Birch Lane, I would say would be the address.
Yeah. Okay. The only numbers right now.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna have this, let me see. Look at application again. There again, there we go. Okay, the map number is?
19 and 21 on tax map 7. Oh, sorry, map number is.
Map number 7?
Number 7.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And 19 and 21 lots.
Mhm.
Based on the above findings, the applicant has established right, title, and interest of the parcel of the subject application, therefore has standing to make the application. Since your lease, I saw your lease agreement.
Yep.
With Mr. Appleby. and
Yep.
So on, okay. So you have that. Okay, land use ordinance finance properties in within the R1 district. The applicant is requesting, it's the same thing, to have this solar array. Proposed use is defined as commercial, not industrial. You don't produce anything there other than electricity, you're not, no, okay, so it'll be. Which is permittable by the planning board with special exempt conditional use. Based on the above findings, the proposed use is permitted within the R1 zone. District, I guess. The land use ordinance findings, the compliance with dimension requirements, section BC is yes, it's required to be 1 acre to have a commercial lot in South Thomaston. And this property is 19, is, well, I just use the whole property.
Two,
215 is the entire
200,
parcel, the two parcels.
two parcels together is how much?
215.
215, okay. If anybody has any questions along the way, feel free to interrupt me and I'll be happy to go over the application with him. Okay, this is not a campground. Okay, lighting. You said no lighting.
no lighting.
So that's NA. Okay. Okay, outdoor storage materials, products, vehicles, be screened from view, so that's NA. No junk out there. Off-street parking, provide sufficient spaces determined by the plan board to limit on-street parking.
No,
That's NA too, because nobody goes there. Okay, it's not outpatient addiction plan. Both, based on the above findings, both permit complies with performance standards with noted conditions, so they're already all set there. Conformance of the comprehensive plan findings. The comprehensive does or does not recommend changes to the zoning area. It does not. Wow, there. Comprehensive also does or does not recommend changes to the permitted use in the district. It does not. Because it's in the R1. That's the least restricted district in South Thomaston. Based on the above finding, it does or does not conform to comprehensive. It does. Additional conditions, the plan board may, in order to carry out the purpose of special exemption procedure, require additional conditions, specifications, criteria, standards necessary to affect the public interest and to fit use harmonious with compatibility into the neighborhoods and locations. Such conditions may include, but are not limited to. Does anybody have any conditions other than we've seen the plan?
well, they have all the screening they need.
They have the screening in here. Screenings comply with setback, but one thing that I had a question on, the lowest setback that you said in here was 265 feet from your array to the property line.
Mhm.
All the other distances were greater than that.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So what you're talking about the road, that's not the actual project, 265 feet. Okay. I do read the stuff. Okay.
The project, the road to the project.
Oh, he's talking about a setback.
Setback on the project. From the where the fencing will be, say, the nearest property line is 265 feet,
Near, yeah.
the nearest one. The other ones, there are some greater distances, up to 1,500 feet.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure.
What's going to be the distance from your fencing to the water areas?
The wetland areas. I don't know offhand, but we can look at the plan.
From the channel to the water?
I think you're asking the fencing to the wetland.
Yes, because I assume once the fencing is in place, you have no reason to do anything outside that fencing.
Correct.
right? So,
Correct.
So this is, the fencing here is depicted by the X. in the line.
It's the upper corner,
So
the
I
right
would
corner.
say either right here or
Right there.
here. And that's roughly, I would say 20 feet. Well, this one is 20 feet. That's the nearest
Yes, the fence though.
fence to the
And then
wetland
another
area.
20
That's the
feet to the
question, right?
panels.
And then the one to the south is, I would say 40 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, so there is no reason to assume any leaching from your operation that could get into the water or anything.
No.
No, the standard safety fence, the chain link. is
Yeah.
one.
I have a question, now we're looking at this.
Sure.
That fence line is the outmost farthest line.
It's the X's.
Oh, I can't, yeah.
No, that's the tree clearing limit. This line here.
On that picture right there,
Mhm.
I understand where the wetlands are, it's the dark
The
area.
dark area of the wetlands, yeah.
Now, where's my access around the whole thing? Am I going to wetlands?
No.
No, definitely not.
Okay, no, I'm
No.
just making sure that
Yeah.
where we might have to drive the UTV through.
You're
we're
gonna
not
be right, you're gonna be right outside the fence.
Okay.
You're gonna
Thank
be right along through here,
Yeah.
Perfect.
straight line, nice and straight, so you can get there.
Alright,
Yeah.
just checking, I don't wanna go. through
That's a
wetlands.
good, yep, that's a good question.
But so, I mean, you're going to build a road on the southern side, you know, to allow the fire chief and his equipment to go through, but that, you know, it's coming very close to a wetland on that bottom part. So are you going to do any reinforcement there so that it doesn't collapse?
There's no wetland impact through this area, so they'll be able to get the UTV through there without driving through the wetlands.
Yeah, I guess that's, you know.
You're concerned about runoff going into that.
Yeah, so during the construction phase, when if they have to do any sort of grading through there, they'll have silt fence off and all the sediment erosion controls.
Yeah,
It's a state requirement.
that's your job.
Yeah. That's a good question though. I like when people are interested in protecting water quality. It's important.
Yeah, because we all have wells.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Continuing on here, part A, section 7. Increase setbacks for this use. State of Maine requires 6 feet. Setback from your property line, that's it. Property lines. Setback from the road. And setbacks from bodies of water. So. What? Is the, I guess what's the setback from the main road? 131,
For the solar array itself, it's,
you have plenty of room.
it's.
How much do you need, I guess, of that?
Where the road itself is 3,000 feet long roughly. So we exceed any sort of road setback.
That's right.
And the property line setbacks are 50 feet here, and we also exceed all those.
Right. Okay, so. On the road, I'm gonna put 100 feet in there. Okay, so what's that last house up from there?
The one to the north.
Yeah, the one nearest you, how far is that back? Probably
So
more than that,
do you need roughly, or do you
just
need
need roughly, yeah.
roughly? I measured it out to be 1,200, here.
I like to
have
just
right
keep it
here.
away from the driveways.
Yep, I have it right here. I have it in the application.
Since you have the
It's
room.
roughly 1,200 feet.
Well, fine, so you have 3, so I'm gonna make that.
To the nearest house, is that's what we're talking about.
The nearest house. Well, then we got 131 too. So I think we should add like 100 feet from the nearest house. And then that distance to 131. That would be 1,300
It's
feet.
far away
What do
from
you
one
use it for?
seventy-one, I mean.
I'm just saying from 131 to the last house, how far is that up that road?
I can measure it, I don't have that off hand.
If it's over 1,000.
It's over 1,000.
It's over 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
What is the purpose of that?
Well, it can be determined by the planning board, how far back we want this to be away from, like, the main road, okay? So somebody doesn't come in and build a solar array 50 feet from the main road. You might allow a house there, you might run a business, but maybe if you already have your site plan picked out for the comfort of the neighbors, from the 131 back, if it's 1,000 feet to the last house, I'd like to add one more 100 feet. So that if I take it up to 3,000, it'd be
Yeah,
still over 2,000 feet.
yeah, it is.
Okay. This is arbitrary for the planning board. If anybody on the planning board thinks it's excessive, then let me know.
I'm not sure I
Does it-
understand
does
what
it
you're getting
restrict
to.
The development, like what is the?
From your solar array to where we, to 131, that's the road. So normally we use the road. But since there are some concerns with the neighbors on that road, maybe, that we should make it a little further back.
But you have 131 and then you have perpendicular roads like Holly Berry and so forth. And those neighbors are much closer than anybody on 131.
That's what I'm trying to protect.
I see, so you're trying to determine a setback from,
A decent setback between, say, her house.
right?
How far is the solar array from her property, for example, or from her driveway?
Yeah,
Or is that the road?
yeah. The nearest house is 1,200 feet from the corner of the solar array.
That's, yeah, the project itself. I'm not counting the
Yeah.
road coming in.
Right,
Right.
yeah,
Okay. So I'd like to, so you're happy with the site? 1,200 feet should not be an issue. Okay, just,
let me, can I show you? the
sure,
graph?
yeah.
So, fully understanding.
I'm not trying to penalize you more
This
than
is a
anybody
new
else.
application.
Yeah.
Is this what you mean? This is the nearest house?
Here's your project.
Here's the project here.
Yeah,
131 is here, then you have the perpendicular
so
road.
what I'm saying is, how far is this from their road,
Oh, this way.
or whatever? It doesn't determine state road, encompassing private road.
Okay.
We can get a rough distance there.
I can't, I just a minute.
Okay, I can get back to
We
this.
able to do that.
Okay, okay, this solar array from bodies of water.
That's what the question is, do you define the wetland as bodies of water?
I would say more of a pond, but it could be,
The pond is
depends on the flooding, the rain.
how far back?
Back.
From there, yeah. Yeah, that's the, yeah.
Okay, what is the state requirement, like, is there like a 50-foot requirement, or?
For what?
For body of water.
Yeah,
It's not.
75 feet. there is none. Maybe break marks or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
We ought to put something in here so we stay back in the water bodies a little bit.
We're going to build here, we say at least 50 back 75 feet.
75 feet from the
from
shore,
water.
that's required, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
I want to ask Eric a question. The road you're talking about, 131, is your road that goes past your house? That's the road you're talking about? Okay.
the main state highway. Normally it's a state highway, but with the concerns in the room, I wanted to that project wouldn't get any closer than it is now. Or slightly closer to it, maybe.
Because his road is closer to our property line.
That's not the thing, that's the actual solar array.
Right.
Oh,
That's what I'm trying to,
okay.
so if they span any closer, they gotta come back here. So that's, yes, you have the
What
distance.
are the other questions? Because I think doesn't the town have predetermined setbacks to roads, property lines?
We do on corners. We have 40 feet on the corner.
So I mean, that's satisfied with those requirements. We don't know the exact.
We can,
measurement.
as a board, we can determine what is setback and date. So I'm taking into consideration the other property owners there. You know, that this will be set back where it is now, okay?
Okay.
If you want to come closer, you gotta come back.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So I need a distance from you. Or we can make it you know, I think a couple hundred feet or so from their road. Or, you know,
I think.
I'd like to give a little more.
200 feet, and
okay, we'll make it like 200, I don't know what you got there. I won't make it the whole distance, but I'll make part of it.
every go through, I mean, if they don't mind, it works 200 feet from the bodies of water. at
200,
least,
I'm in, well, from the bodies of water,
yeah,
200,
from the pond, and they are way beyond that.
okay, we use 200 for that, and then. Requirement, comply with state setbacks, provide additional setbacks from any dwelling, experienced the time of permitting totaling X feet, relevant boundary lines will be clearly marked by a licensed surveyor. So how far is it from that solar array to that road? That's quite a long way, isn't it? Which road do you live on?
Oliver.
Olive Berry.
Okay, I'm looking at that right now. It's 1,200 from the last residence,
Okay,
existing dwelling on Holly Berry.
okay.
From our property line?
From the.
From the solar array.
To the solar array, 1,200.
1,200, okay. All right. What do you think? Doesn't have to be that much, but I think we should make it a reasonable distance.
Yes, given the size of the installation, you know, doing, I mean.
Why don't we make it 600?
Okay, yeah, I would advocate 1,200 is.
Nobody wants to do the whole panels.
Excessive, so we'll go half of that. Okay,
Does that sound?
Yeah, I see no reason why it's not.
and I'm gonna also,
Where it is, I don't-
you're gonna be all set. The
Yeah,
existing
wetlands in
dwellings,
the way
Yeah,
anyway.
that's
You can't move
true.
any more than we did.
Hmm.
so I'm gonna make the existing dwellings a time totaling 600 feet as well, okay? That should be, I'll put that way back for you folks. Okay, there's no water on the site, no well.
Nope.
No septic. If you do have crews working up there doing construction, you'll have porta potties and so.
Yeah, during an outage or anything, of course, there'll be.
Yeah.
There'll be conditions for water and sanitary, yep.
Okay. The operation will not be visible, maybe butters or town roads.
Correct.
Correct. Okay, fences. Commercial industrial operations. Equipment storage is visible from adjacent dwelling, fencing, landscape screening, firms will be installed. So you're gonna have we'll be coming to the security fence, but you don't need any.
The screening is regulated, you said, by the height, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
by a national electrical code.
Okay. So I'm gonna just say NA
The
on that one.
fencing,
for now.
yeah.
Landscaping, you're gonna have mowed grass twice a year.
Right,
There's really no need for landscaping, only because there's
Yeah.
trees all around it, so
I mean,
some
we
projects
don't
might need.
require you not to cut the trees, it's not our property, it's the landowner's property, but I assume they are, you know, no cutting any more than what's.
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, operations there. Type service limited to the scope of the application. Increase in scope will require a new updated permit to approve the increase in scope by the plan board. Okay, we discussed that already. Once it gets up and running, I know there'll be quite a few people there when they're building it.
Yeah.
Any employees there? None.
on an as, you know, they'll be dispatched as needed, so it's really none on a regular.
How many would come up for a service call, would you
Well,
say?
it'd be one electrician, and then if there was a need to call folks in, you know, based on the job, they would just bring the requisite amount of electricians.
Okay. So I think we need to put a number there.
I don't think we do, it's like
Oh.
0 staff, it's just servicing
Correct.
people on
Correct.
occasion.
There's
Okay,
no permanent staff there, that's a good point.
okay, I'll put in there. Okay, security, yes, you're gonna have fence.
Yeah.
Warning signs.
Yeah.
Controlled access to the array. Okay. Okay, this is more for a regular business, hours of operation will be none,
24/7.
24/7.
When it's sunny.
Well, when
I
it's
guess-
sunny.
Well, when it's a bright moon, it's
Okay, so I'm gonna just put NA by all these, yeah.
Yes.
Saturday, Sunday
it's not
operate,
that-
daylight operations, state holidays, okay. That'll be NA.
We just had a full moon, that was like fun, but it don't be about.
Okay, no need for off-street parking,
No.
yeah. Okay. No off-street lighting at all there?
No.
Okay. All signs must comply with town ordinance, strictly size, distance from the road to corner requirements. That's be 40 feet on a corner. Signs may be used to advise, ensure safety, movement, and security. Okay. Noise level, not to exceed 65 decibel to the nearest property line. You can't make noise. Yeah. During construction. On the construction, you're just gonna be working days,
Yes,
not overnight.
right, no.
Well, you may work late, but I understand. They'll do the job. Dust. Operation shall not create emissions, dust, or dirt beyond the property line. This will also apply during the construction phase of the project.
Yeah.
So if you get dust, you gotta wet it or
Yeah.
something. May require restrictions of access of road, use of water, tenting to mitigate dust. Halt operations if wind direction or speed is not favorable to operations. Okay. We've been a very dusty summer on these dirt roads. We do get complaints on them. Odor, there'll be none of that, so that's 10A. Vibration, you're not gonna use any rock crushing,
No,
nothing
no
like that.
blasting, no.
Yeah, okay, so this is gonna be an A. Okay, so that's an A. CL. Nuisance, any above operational notes, conditions. Also, any concerns by the planning board due to the nature or operations not listed above. There's no noise. There's no dust, no employees. Which should be pretty much quiet operation. So I'm gonna just say, yes. Vehicle pedestrian access condition requirement, operators will be limited to conditions approved by these performance standards with regard to hours of operation. So that's NA. No hours of operations. Circulation safe, required access to the public will be restricted, controlled, and secure. So that will happen, be fenced. Okay. That's only in the solar array, you're gonna allow people to recreate the rest of it. Okay, adequate capacity on 131. I believe there is, because there'll be no people up there. You're gonna add any driveways. That's the only road you're gonna use in and out. Okay. Professional safe operations system proposed use. So you have to have all other approvals. State, federal, and maybe state.
So when we get our state approval, we'll just mail them in.
You be dealing with the CEO from this point on.
Okay, will we have to come back to the planning board? It'll be a conditional.
The only thing,
conditional
if you want to
on-
expand,
Only, okay,
okay,
okay.
local,
I mean, we'll have to discuss the bond process.
Yeah.
Because obviously we don't want you to start digging and stuff if you don't get the bond. So,
but you have to supply the bond to the CEO.
When we, like I said, when we, prior to coming to Jan for the building permit, that bond package would be completed and enforced. Because as soon as you give us the building permit, the project has to, it's in construction, it has to have that decommissioning bond prior to construction. And the DEP also has, I made that sign off on that now.
so your package won't be complete and the authorization won't be issued until you send a copy of the issued bond.
Correct, correct.
That
The issue bond,
The
Issue,
planning board.
not just the application.
Right.
The issued bond.
That would go to the, we know that the state requires you to do that,
yep,
okay? So it'll be the same one.
Yep.
It's just a copy to the CEO for the file,
And that's for the building
the
permit.
building permit.
with the bill for the,
So for the planning board, the work that you do and the vote that you get, that the approval or hopefully you.
everything that we approve is subject to like
It's contingent
The
upon
one.
the conditions.
conditions to
Okay,
the, he takes it from here, and he does the enforcement, we do the approvals,
okay.
okay? Okay. All required license, you must have prior to operation. Yes? Okay. Whatever they are, and I know there's quite a few in here. Okay, now we get to what we always do, fire department access. Cell towers and Fauci will verify the site access is adequate prior to commencement of operations. The project must meet state of Maine fire codes for its intended use. Yes. So you give it the fire chief,
You
you
met,
already met with him
you
already?
met with the fire chief and,
Okay,
yeah, we adhered to his recommendations.
okay,
15.
okay. Land conservation conditional requirement. The applicant will limit material disturbance activity to a maximum of 2 acres for development of this project. This is normal
Mhm.
thing we have. Okay, now apply with state and Maine provided guidance for erosion control, groundwater monitoring, fuel oil storage and reclamation. So this is gonna be maximum of 2 acres. You're gonna disturb more than 2 acres. So how much do you need?
Well, they are going to, they already said.
You have your approval.
But we don't have the stormwater approval yet, it's a stormwater permit by rule, so that's a 13-day approval process. That once we receive it, we'll pass it along to Dan.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that, once approved by the state,
Yep.
okay? So I'm gonna get rid of the,
And then you do make sure they have all the, you know, protection all around.
may start with, okay, so this is state guidelines, state mandates. Okay. No food sewer facilities? Okay. The applicant, an agent, will comply with all federal, state requirements. Any other conditions that we need to put for the town? I don't really think so.
Okay, so did you write a presentation of the issued bond?
Put that- That's decommissioning bond, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, based on the above findings and with the specific conditions and application for approval under the land use orders. Okay, now it's time to vote on this. And I can make a motion if you like. I'd like to make a motion to approve the performance standard review, South Taunton Plan Book, 1 through. Where is it here? 4, 7, and then to include 1, 2, A, B, C, D, sections. Incomplete. He said, and E, excuse me, F and G, H on section 7. Okay. For this solar array.
Make the motion to approve the permit contingent upon the, conditions specified.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
in the application. Okay. We have,
I second the motion.
okay, second motion. Is there any further discussion, the board members? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Catherine,
Yes.
Cindy?
Yes.
And I'll be yes. So that will be approved project. 3 in favor,
So you're mentioning your discount is
0 opposed.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck with your project.
Well, that's what, actually, I'm serious when I ask that.
So, again, this community solar initiative, people should try to take advantage of that. It's it's unlike any other program in all of 50 states. It's a 15% discount. And you're really not committing to any, you can cancel any time. And whether it's Nextamp or Summit Ridge or whatever flyer you get flavor of the month, it's actually a good deal. Because it benefits homeowners.
How long did it last?
In different levels, but the good thing about it, my understanding is you can cancel any time with just a letter.
We did join the one, I joined the
You
one,
did join one?
it lasted 6 months, and they said if you join, just for argument's sake, I'll say a $50 gift certificate. Or whatever they call that, 0, nothing, never sent, never got.
Oh, yeah, well.
Who was that, do you remember the provider?
Yeah, I think it was your husband's name on the.
I have one more disclosure I have to make here. Okay, land use ordinance section 4, paragraph 5B. Permits shall not be denied if the proposed use is found to be in conformance with provisions of this ordinance. So what that means is, since this is the R1 zone, this is allowed use. They meet the performance standards here and in their project. We cannot, as a board, deny that. Okay? If anybody feels that we've acted improper here, they take it to the South Thomason, the next step will be the South Thomason Board of Appeals. Or they can file a petition with them, and then after that, if they agree with us, would be Orange County Superior Court. Okay, just want to advise the public of that, what their options
I'd
are.
like to follow up. Are you going to do a mailing to all the inhabitants of South Thomaston offering the discount if they sign up for
Get
your?
this typed up.
It's a good question. I don't know the
Tomorrow,
answer to
next
that. It's done by subscription, so again, as I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be tied to any. You
Well,
live in South Thomaston, you don't have to get power, the electronic. So it's just a main.
but that's the key. We receive so much junk mail. It would be nice to get a name,
I can
watch
check.
for that name in the mail.
I think anybody abutting the property should have free electric.
We're gonna give everyone a big extension.
Okay, I have another application here from,
So review, not the,
I need to look at tonight.
if you want to go, just put your.
You can go, you're free to go. Good luck with your project.
Thank you very much, appreciate your time.
Okay.
These were beautiful maps.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
so much.
They've been pretty done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eric? Yeah.
That's what we do.
I have is that you, Eric? that has-
Yes.
Okay, could you just, give us a quick rundown of what you'd like to do here with your,
So yeah,
land?
basically I own piece property that we were just talking about. My parents that own the piece that the solar farm will be on. All I'm looking to do is host small outdoor garden parties and possible weddings between 50 and 70 people at the max. We're really not adding anything to the property or everything's already there. We're just looking at opening up this color. Right now, we've had our own weddings there and we'll then just, to be honest, we can't start it before.
You don't wanna build,
Yeah, we're not building anything. There's no addition to the property. at all.
on the outside.
Where the barn, get born into it.
Yeah, it's good. We'll have the house, yeah, there's small gardens up there now.
Yeah.
It's really great.
And,
Yeah, there's, I printed out.
So we got it, we got it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of-
So Eric,
Anything.
what you're asking for here is a,
Yeah, you have a weird, you have a
You have-
typo, and I was like, what does it mean? Family gathering.
Okay, so-
Family gathering?
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want a maximum occupancy of 75 people you would like to have there? Parking, you have parked for 45 cars. Music and noise is stopped by 10 PM. No fireworks allowed, you don't care about that?
Eric, you wanna come up and show this?
Yeah, you know, we look at your map too. Bathrooms of like porta potty arrangement,
Yeah, or mobile restaurants.
no restaurant, no kitchen on site, but provide designated outdoor space for catering.
Yep.
And alcohol provided by a licensed caterer bartender. Okay,
So
I looked at this already, got here.
131.
Yeah.
First line right here,
Yeah,
our property right here, overview of it.
so is that far from the road? Yeah?
We're about 300 feet off
So
of
that's
131.
the property.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
line, fence line, that's the other
Okay.
property line.
okay.
Can we take a look?
Yeah, sure. Just want to let the public know, this is an initial review of this project. We will not be voting approval on this tonight.
It's like the house.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah, the barn.
Yeah.
But this is where we're looking at.
in that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
The new, the solar farm road is right.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
beyond.
So where will they come up first, right, to your house?
Yeah, 131. Left people to there.
Right.
First home.
Oh, that's, yeah, yeah, that's yours, yeah.
That's right.
So you're the code enforcement?
So you propose the changes to the close to the parking area?
No, well, this is all lawn.
Okay.
So this is already. Grass. Level.
So this
That's my kind of man.
Just thinking that you're gonna get along fine.
No, we live there.
Okay.
No, it's literally. So, we like to host dinner parties and stuff.
Okay,
We already do that. But we can't, we can't hurt anybody because it's not,
yeah.
that's why I'm here. I'm just wondering.
You want to make it a commercial?
Yeah, it's either a commercial or change of use. I'm not sure how you guys, what the designation is. I assume it's commercial.
So let people use who have never met come here
Correct,
and have a party.
Yeah, I mean, so if we host a dinner party with. Music, have 50 to 70
Like a
people
farm
out.
to table.
Exactly, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
And,
We're always looking for members of the planning. board.
so
Short word.
I guess if you're going to offer food, there are.
Sorry, but I get mafia.
And all come to catering, outside catering. Yeah, any alcohol catering.
My wallet.
All. Yeah, like catering.
Everything left, I'll share.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did a proposal. It's small.
When would you like to start having events there?
Well, if you concern.
Maybe next year.
Okay.
The neighborhood.
That's not a problem.
No, no.
I know.
but that would be the same part, I guess we would have to notify all the,
butters.
Well, I, family, I think to be honest, my parents, which we just talked about,
Away from us.
my uncle,
Yeah,
Appleby.
So it's a 500-foot radius, we notify, we're a 500 radius.
yeah.
Not sure if we can have a public hearing on this, or not, we may. Well,
Why?
well, it's up to us.
Yeah, no, like I said, I just
And
talked to
then,
Dan about it, and so.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a
You're not gonna
public hearing.
So that's, I mean, this isn't across from our house, right?
Yeah,
No, it doesn't.
no,
Your
because
house
of my
would
point,
be
that's why.
technically
that's why-
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't wanna.
Yeah, you know, I'm guessing it's, oh, you're,
Yeah, Linda, and then they-
yeah.
Yeah, it's probably right here, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you guys are on.
Hearing is-
Actually, you get the road and then.
Yeah, right.
Figure project like that.
I'm guessing, right. It'd be a little bit, right,
Oh.
you know, I mean, it'd be the garden, really, this is a great
You need
thing.
that?
You said you're gonna do
I think
I just give them a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They have some of those facts.
I don't need any.
Not quite. We adjourned.
All right, thank you.
I need to get those done. because the pictures they
Have a good
take
night,
back-
folks.
Oh, I'm a
Thank
drone. I'm a drone.
Okay, you do.
Yeah, this is just, go online and the free program, I just Yep.
Well, that's
went to
cool.
Staples and printed it out. And
Well,
I guess,
I'm on the Conservation Commission
Oh, okay.
and maps is something we're very interested in.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'd be interested.
I used to work for a water utility, so I
Yeah, so,
was an engineer, so.
How long have you lived in South Holmes?
Yeah, that was my parents' house we bought. So
How
I've owned the house for,
long has it been a family?
my son's is 18, so. I've
Long
owned it
time.
for 17 years.
Okay, one thing I'd like to tell you, I sail in Merchant Marine.
Yep.
And I've got work October, November, so if it's not real pressing, if you can, we have a vice chair that can do it next month, he couldn't make it this month.
Yep.
But if you wanted to wait till the summer meet, I'd be back.
Okay.
we
See.
meet on the
Thursday.
Thursday of the month.
I mean, the only thing I just don't want to keep, if you guys have any reservation, think it's not gonna pass for some. I
Well,
don't
it's in
want
R1 zone, it's an allowed use.
Well, exactly, that's, yeah,
So what it is just like the disclaimer says on the bottom, we can't refuse you as long as you keep the fire code, the lighting, the noise, the performance
Okay.
standards, we just review that.
so I
So
mean,
then if anybody, at that point, we will do the butter notifications.
Yeah.
And usually, like I say, as long as everything falls into line, that will be it.
okay, so, I mean, besides landscape lighting, which you have. Lighting, that's the only lighting I have in my, you currently have the 6'7"
Yeah.
light post.
What you do with those is
And those you
you
turn on.
put those on your performance standard, how many you want. And then things like that. You can always, you don't have to put them all in, say you wanted more, like 10.
Yep.
Or 12, just put that on your application. You don't have to install everything. So I'm saying everything that you think you might need for this,
Yep.
you might want to think about it and bring it back to us when we do the performance standards. That's why. Because then if you tell, you leave and you change, so I forgot 2, 3 things that I want to do.
Well, I mean,
You gotta come
literally,
back
I'm not
again.
adding anything to what you see there.
Okay,
I mean, it's literally what you see on the.
well, let's see if you want to write, like, say you want to write the tent,
The bathroom.
that should be on there.
If I want to put a tent in,
You know, like a,
A
you know,
temporary tent?
temporary tent, that should be kind of noted in it. Cause you know,
What's the bathroom situation?
what'd you say?
The bathroom situation.
There'll be a porta potty or mobile restroom, and they depends on,
So the number would depend on how many people you want to permit from the side.
yeah, so it's the 75 person max that I put down,
Yeah.
that's literally one porta potty. That's when you look at. the
One
capacity.
porta potty, if you
When
want
you
to
look-
make people happy. you have to
Oh, I know, but when you look at the max, right,
I don't think there's any, reason to, like, to put a septic system into this. I think porta potties will suffice, as far as
Okay.
my concerns are. You know, I don't want you to go. I know everything.
What I'm saying is for
Women, I know.
Oh, no, I
business success.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Now I'm on TV. Oh, this is, I have to sell women.
All right.
Okay.
I think we have pretty good information on that. I don't know if there's anything else the board would like to ask tonight.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Linda who was in city house and I think we're all set. I mean, we have a pretty standard application here. Do you anticipate any difficulty with
I
that?
don't see any.
No.
Unless there's a board meeting, we will we'll schedule one for next month, but I don't know if we'll have any other. You never know.
Hard to say.
Hard to say. So if we don't have anything, I'd like to defer yours till December, if that's agreeable to you.
Yep,
That would be, and the reason for that is I'll be gone and then it's with, there's only, you gotta have 3 here. So if some other night, somebody can't make it,
Okay.
then we can't, you're wasting your time. But if they do meet, Dan will let you know.
Okay.
And they can-
Yeah, that'd be
But
great.
it's your right to ask to meet next month.
I mean, if you guys have 3 people, that'd be great.
Okay,
But if
That's fine
not,
with me.
I understand and.
No, that's
Come
fine.
to December.
If I'm in an area where I can get Zoom, I'll come on Zoom, but I'll
I'm
be
sure
as a
Gabriel
vice chair.
can come as well. next
If he can
month.
come
So,
next time,
yeah.
then we can do that. So
When it comes to paperwork, I submitted that. What's easy?
The land use, yeah, that's the
I got plan of use. Is there anything else I need to submit for? I know you were talking about the tent thing. So that's why I was,
anything that you want to have, number of parking spaces, we'll need
Yeah.
to know,
yeah, that's
you
already.
know, enough capacity. The porta potty thing, whatever.
But it's saying it's so big. So
Well,
you-
no, yeah,
I'm not telling you how to do your job, but
I'm not-
anything you think of, you make a
Don't get me wrong,
whole.
it'd be great to have something bigger, but I don't wanna go through the same thing to people down the road.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and it's also, it's a family house, you know, I mean, we live there, so I don't
So
wanna,
they're going to eat outside, so you're going to have picnic tables and things like that.
yeah, I mean, unless it rains and then.
number of employees, there's nothing you need to list.
Okay,
Be thinking about that, how many people want to work there.
Yeah.
You know,
Why would people want to come to your place? What's the catch?
you have to come and find out.
Well,
No, I
that's
mean,
the thing.
it-
How are you going to advertise? What's going to be, just come to my house at dinner or?
if you think
It
that's-
really depends on if it's a farm to table type of
Yeah.
thing, or if it's somebody looking to host a small gathering or a small wedding or family reunion.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of places or plenty of options. for
Come to
people.
table, I'm all for it, yeah. Okay. So, I think
I'm just looking for, yeah, well, I just wanna, that's it for you tonight.
Yep.
The planning board, they got the bylaws, because they've been rewritten,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I think we should, just make a quick motion to send them back to the,
Okay, so
planning board.
I make the motion to,
send these revised September 27th amendment. You got it adopted March 2021, but
amended, yeah, they are the, like, put the date of the next planning board meeting, I guess, already.
the next
And then next
select board,
select board.
yes.
So I think we should just vote now to approve those bylaws for our committee, for our board.
Okay, I'll second that. And, okay, any discussion?
No?
Call the vote, Catherine,
Yes,
Cindy?
Yeah.
Yes, three, okay, so we've done that.
vote of 3 to, and one absent. So
Well, that's, I guess. Okay, let me see, we gotta get a calendar here.
in the next meeting, I need to keep I'm a member of several other committees now and boards, so I really need to.
You got too much going on.
Well, not so many people volunteer to do
Oh,
things.
there we go.
So that would be the 20th of October.
The next planning board meeting will be at 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Here, 20th of October. And then just looking forward a little bit, the next one after that will be the 17th of November. And then we're back on the 15th of December, the next 3 months.
I make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second motion, any further discussion?
Yeah,
Hearing none,
we have all kinds of discussion.
what's that?
Well, I'm kind of trying to find out why I was asked to come today.
The reason why I sent you a message this morning, because we had some correspondence that, you know, you wanted to be here for the, some of these projects.
Okay.
So I kind of put it to you, if you'd like to attend, you can attend. I didn't think you don't have to.
Well, I mean, I get it.
I think it's good you were here.
Probably last night I woke up, but to get a text message at 7 o'clock in the morning for a 5:30 meeting the same night.
Well, I was just kind of reminding you that there was a meeting tonight and that we have them every month. And that they're out front posted out there, but my concern was, you've asked me a couple times saying, hey, I'm not always telling me nothing.
Well,
Yeah, so
right,
I-
and I mean, my schedule, just like everyone else's, is that I'm
I know
very
you're busy.
busy. I start at 5 o'clock in the morning, I go till 7:30 at night. So this one kind of worked out, 'cause I got done with the fire department stuff earlier, but I want to have discussions with you guys, and if we have to wait, do it on another meeting, that's perfectly fine, but I'm not sure if I need to go to the selectmen first with my request, because I'm really not sure how,
Well, tell me
What's
what's
your
on your mind, we'll hear.
are we still online?
I'm trying to close it off.
I don't want to wait. Till she's
But I
offline.
haven't done this
I don't
before,
wanna-
so. Okay, I can do it.